going on. Just rather watch me fall from a quarter mile. I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. Tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in.
I think it will as well. I don't think we've ever played them before in anything across our entire existence as a team. So I'm interested in how we'll play against them. Most of the teams we've played in our brackets, we've either seen a few of their players at least, or scrimmed against them before. So having a completely new lineup to be going up against, I find very exciting. They've been performing very, very well. We've hit a few snags along the way, but most of it's been ironed out. We've had a lot of good scrims recently that I think we've been able to learn quite a bit from. So any mistakes that we've been making previously, I don't think you'll see too many more of them. Of course, they'll still exist. It's hard to completely snuff out a bad habit, but I think most of them should be gone. Um, none really. I mean, I'm just kind of waiting for things to get started.
Taylor Industries is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports, a family-owned and operated business. Thank you for joining us today. Before today's match, we'll be going over the rules of Overwatch. Overwatch is a 6v6 team-based game where each map has specific objectives to complete. At the beginning of the match and at any time during the game, the players can move into a spawn room that allows them to choose what character they want to play. They can also do this while waiting to respawn. There are 3 types of heroes that can be played. Tanks specialize in protecting allies, disrupting enemies, and occupying the front line. They have high survivability and abilities that protect themselves and others with shields and crowd control. Damage heroes are responsible for seeking out, engaging, and defeating the enemy using their varied tools, abilities, and playstyles. Lastly, support are heroes that heal, buff, and provide utility. Support heroes boost the overall performance of their team by increasing their survivability, speed, and damage output. They're generally the worst duelists and are best when surrounded by teammates. Throughout the match, players have a select set of abilities that can be used. All heroes have at least 2, although some have more. Each character also has an ultimate ability that must be charged by dealing damage or healing. Each match takes place on one of 4 types of maps: Assault, Payload, Control, or Hybrid. Payload maps have an objective that players must push to the end of a set track, with the other team defending. Whichever team can push their payload further wins. Assault maps have 2 objectives that one team must try to capture while the other team defends. Hybrid maps are a combination of the last 2 mentions, with one team capturing a point and then pushing it along a track. In control maps, players must fight over one point located in the middle of the map and hold it to fill their percentage. Finally, whichever team has won the most rounds by the end of the match will win the game.
Imagine opportunity. Got it? Good. Now pursue it. Choose the right college to cultivate it. Discover your passion, your talent. Now share it. Embrace it. Go global. Find support, network, build your team. Set a goal, work hard, achieve it. Be proud of yourself. Celebrate it. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
Excited for the interview today?
I am.
Okay, let's get right to it. You're a new addition to the crayon box. What color would you be and why?
I'm colorblind, so colors are really hard for me. But let's see here. I like blues, like a shade of blue, probably.
First game ever played?
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on PlayStation 2. First game I ever beat too.
What's your favorite car jam to listen to?
Any like 80s classic rock, anything like that. Probably like Thunderstruck.
What would the title of your book be?
Probably something along the lines of being distracted a lot, but somehow getting through life.
What would your last meal consist of?
Oh man, that's hard. I really like food. Some kind of like pasta meal, some like gnocchi, like little soft balls of like pasta dough. Oh, so good.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Apologies about the muted mic. That's on me. I had a bit of a wet basement problem the other day, so I had to unplug a lot of my gaming stuff and replug it in, and apparently Windows did not recognize the fact that I had a microphone. So that's how we roll here. We are here on Busan today, Cody. How's this lineup for UCM? And guess what, folks? Our lineup graphic was wrong. It is not Rickless Morty and Trey. It is Rickless Morty and Bite Me. So that kind of changes up the DPS lineup to my eyes, Cody.
A little bit, yeah. On Busan, I don't think too many things will change. I think we'll still run a Reaper. There's a lot of good close quarters fights that'll happen. But I think that on definitely on Mecha Base, there's going to be maybe a Doomfist coming out from Bite Me.
That would be rather interesting to see if we do see Bite Me out there, but it looks like an Echo's being pulled out here, Cody. So I know Bite Me's fairly good on his Echo from what I've heard from the team and whatnot.
Yeah, he's pretty good at maintaining airspace and keeping sightlines with his team while mitigating damage taken from the ground. So I'm excited to see how he's able to shred through their team this time around.
Oh, definitely. And here we go, hopping into the action here. UCM and GBCC will be pumping into the middle here, getting ready to integrate with everybody. So we do see kind of a brawly comp coming out on either side of the teams here. UCM getting up onto the high ground, trying to contest and control, waiting for the point to be unlocked. Got another 13 seconds before that is unlocked. Ready. We do see a hack out onto Dyer. And Dyer is taken out by Bite Me, so UCM taking out a good chunk of the healing ratio for GBCC. Bite Me hopping in there with a lot of sticky bombs and doing as much damage as he can. And Echo and the rest of UCM holding up on the top. Point is unlocked and is beginning to capitalize. And we do see Echo going in there. Bite Me taking out Andy. UCM continuing to kind of contest the point here. And that is what's going to do it. Bite Me popping off here on the Echo, Cody, and just taking care of business, it looks like.
Well, one way I've heard Echo described is as an AC-130, which I believe is incredibly accurate, and I think it creates a sort of split in attention by the enemy team, and that's something that you can't have happening in a brawl.
Oh, so very true. So we do have UCM holding up into the choke here against GBCC, and so UCM does have the advantage here of holding on to the choke. We do have a dupe ready on Bite Me, probably as a quick pop-off, and then the Red Polka does have a Coalescence coming up online. UCM waiting to see him come up onto the train station here. GBC is trying to get aggressive here. We do see a Torbjorn coming out on the side of GBCC. I do see a dupe coming out on the side of Bite Me. Bite Me doing some work, it looks like. Possibly getting some hammers out. The Red Polka pumping out some Coalescence damage. Deity hop on the high ground, a little bit low on energy, but is still able to try and keep everybody down low. Does get a bit of charge back. Deity Gaming booping Dyer off, and then booping crits off. UCM continues to hold the point here, Cody.
Yeah, that was a really good hold. I think they got a little split there, their team did, which I was talking about earlier. You don't want that split to happen in a brawl, but you saw the Torbjorn and the Reinhardt going basically alone without much support. That, you can't split your team up like that, and it's just not going to work out if they keep doing it.
Oh, so very true. So UCM again here in the choke, but it doesn't look like Deity's grows up. Jonah out with a hammer here. Gets much people as he can there. UCM gets two down and out. We do see Lamp coming out on the side. GBC to try and keep the rest of the team alive. Maybe continue to contest here, but they are down to Zari and MA. Things are looking bad. Oh, Lyles goes down by Jonah's aggression here. Jonah continuing to swing that hammer and just say no more. I do hear Doomfist in the background. No, never mind. I lied. UCM continuing. It was just a Reinhardt charging through. And UCM in a good position here with a grab, an EMP, and a beat as well, Cody. Oh, beat coming out. No, Graviton Surge coming out. EMP out. Got a 4-man EMP on the side of Rickless Morty. UCM continuing to contest everything they can. Jonah going through and swinging everything that he's got. And then that will be UCM continuing to contest this point and hold on to it. UCM pumping through as much as they can. They only got a little bit more to hold off onto. Crits going for the point to try and contest it, but doesn't make it. DD Gaming making sure that does not happen. And UCM showing a dominant performance on this first section of Busan, Cody.
Very, very dominant, and I think that was GBCC not being able to coordinate well and get a good push started throughout the entire match there. You saw them trickle in, and they got a few people on point, and they got a few people past our front line, but for the most part, they weren't able to get everybody into the fight, and without everybody there, you can't make anything happen when it's a brawl versus brawl situation.
Oh, this is very true. So UCM in a good position here on Busan. We do see Rickless Morty switching off of the Sombra onto the Hanzo, so that's going to be some fun tree trunks flying over the place. Rickless Morty has been fairly accurate with his Hanzo this season so far, so I'm looking hyped for that. Get some nice dragons going on here, maybe a little bit of Graviton surges. And so UCM Bite Me going on to the Genji, so we got the Shamada Brother DPS lineup for you, ladies and gentlemen. This will be fun. Lyle's going on to the Baptiste. We do see Laps and Jay sticking onto the McCree and the May here. UCM up in the high grounds of the drums here. Crits taking a lot of damage there. UCM continuing to pump out as much damage as they can. We do see UCM. Oh! Rickless Morty getting a headshot off onto Laps there. UCM going onto the main point here, trying to contest it. We do see Lamp out, but it is taken out by DD Gaming. UCM is continuing. Oh! Lyle's taken out by Rickless Morty's arrow, along with Andy. Rickless Morty doing some work on the Hanzo, trying to find the Lucio runaway, trying to see if he can get him, but it doesn't look like that's going to be much work. But we do see that UCM will cap the point here, though, and that is good for UCM here, Cody.
Yeah, I think, again, for GBCC, that was just the same thing as their last map, and that was them not being able to get a good coordinated push going, and UCM just being able to work as a unit, running as a team, and win.
Very much so. Big hammer coming out from the side of Jonah. Gets most of GBC down. He does get stunned, though. And we do see a Reaper coming out on the side of GBC, trying to take care of that aggressive tank play that we've been seeing from UCM tonight. UCM gonna have to back off with that much raw damage output coming out. Jay does take out the red poker, so a lot of the healing sustained for UCM is down and out. Deity, though. Rickless Morty taking out Jay. Deity taking out his counterpart and Andy. UCM continually to kind of march down the street here. And so UCM, at a bit of an advantage with the healing, though, is still able to stand strong and contest it, Cody.
They are. And I think, again, for a lot of these plays, it's coming down to the difference in range. You see Sean playing Hanzo, he's able to just look down a sight line and control it.
Amplification Maestro Dragon coming out on the side of Bite Me. UCM going in there, but Hammer coming out. Bite Me, though, canceled out from doing anything. The red polka down once more. Jonah out as well due to aggression. Deity popping out his Graviton Surge, and then Rickless Morty throwing out the Dragon to take out Dyer. Crits is out. Deity taking out Jay. Rickless Morty flash banged and fanned the Hammer down. UCM is down on their last legs here. Rickless Morty taking as much damage as he could, but not really working out there. Deity and DD Gaming holding on to the drums as best they can. With UC Laps going in there with his flashbang, trying to do so much damage here. Red Polka coming out with his Coalescence, trying to take care of people. DD Gaming, though, saying, I got this, fam. And so he goes in and gets really aggressive. Crits in the back line, not looking too good for him. Crits is taken down by DD Gaming. UCM continues to contest the point. No flips for GBCC here, but they will go back and try and contest the point with, it looks like, their own Lucio. And UCM, will continue to hold on to it. Dire Pants is on the Lucio here, but not much happens there. And UCM, Cody, will take the victory on this point. That was just some stellar gameplay, it looked like, on the side of UCM. Just a lot of coordination and just being able to capitalize on picks.
It was able to capitalize, and they were able to control a lot of space with how they were playing. You saw that GBCC switched to Reaper, kind of like almost middle of the game, and because they were understanding that we were just going in and running them over, and a Reaper's a great way to stop that. But Reaper can't contest range, and that's something that we were able to do. We were able to contest them at range. With our Hanzo, with Sean on Hanzo, he was able to just control an entire sightline almost by himself, and they weren't able to contest him anywhere.
UCM did a great job on Busan. That'll lead them up 1-0 in this series, ladies and gentlemen. So we're super hyped to see what map comes out of them next here. But before we can find that out, we'll have to take you to a quick break, and we'll see you after that segment.
Culver's is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports. Welcome to Delicious.
round, yeah.
Okay, well, let's get right to it. What's the first thing you would buy with $1 million?
Well, I would probably try to keep some of the money for later, but I would probably buy a house.
What would be your superpower?
I would have the power to be invisible.
What would the title of your book be?
The Story of Marcus.
What would your last meal consist of?
I'd probably just have pizza as my last meal.
If you could cyber enhance one body part, what would it be?
My arm.
First game ever played?
I'm trying to remember now. It was a long time ago, but I think one of the first games I played was Mario.
What's your favorite car jam to listen to?
It depends, but I really like Weird Al, so I would have to say Elmish Paradise by Weird Al Yankovic.
You're a new addition to the crayon box. What color would you be?
I would say probably Crazy Plum.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are here on Kings Row, and as you know, ladies and gentlemen, our tie record on this map is higher than our win or our loss. So, we don't lose, we don't win, we just draw on this map more often than not, Cody. Isn't that right?
It's kind of sad, but yeah, it's true. Despite most of our players absolutely loving this map, we just seem to draw on it every single time.
Every single time, Cody, and so this is going to be a rather fun round here. We do see Lapis going on to the Torbjorn, so maybe they have their own Torbjorn OTP like we do, or, I mean, Torbjorn's just a great defender from what I understand, Cody.
He is. His ultimate gives him great control of space. His turret denies most flankers and most problematic air targets without the need of a dedicated hit scan, so you can still have a decent amount of spam. But I think our switch for Trey for Bite Me is going to be great because this is an incredible Reaper map.
Oh, very much so, and we have seen Trey do really well on that, and we just see popping off on some cool surrounding things here. Deity and Jonah pumping him, trying to see if they can get any kind of going. Lamp out from the Red Polka. He is naded as well, so this will be a fun kind of matchup to see how well everybody does. Red Polka trying to keep everybody up and alive. UCM in a bit of a pickle here. The Rickless Morty does fall. UCM in a bit of a... Oh, but Trey taking out Jay, so UCM is even with everybody else, so UCM has an opportunity to pump through. We're going to see Jonah just get super aggressive here and continue to pump through. Deity and Trey will be popping off onto the side here. Trey looking to see if he can kind of drag the attention to him. Jonah and Deity on the point here, waiting to see what all they can do. Hammer down coming out from the side of Crits and Jonah. UCM able to kind of capitalize on a Deity. Low on health, but is able to pop off and get rid of some people. UCM is able to wipe out GBCC for the most part, and now they're staggering out Jay. Cody, that was looking sketch, and then it didn't.
That's Kings Row. Yeah, that was very, very problematic until it wasn't.
Oh, very true here. So UCM in a little bit of a contesting zone here. We do see Dyer trying to get around and stop the point from capping, but won't be there in time. UCM will get the point here and begin pushing the payload down. Jonah and Deity holding up front here, trying to do all the work that they can. We do see Rickless Morty putting up a wall to just calm down things or trying to do a hard flank. UCM in a bit of a good control. Nano onto Crits. UCM is in a bit of trouble here. Jonah pinning his counterpart, who is in the Nano. Does get slipped and taking out Deity, taking out Dire Pants, though. We do see Crits going in with the charge, looking to see if he can do any more damage. Rickless Morty looking to freeze him and keep him sustained. No more. And UCM in a bit of a pickle there. UCM continuing to get the cart moving, able to kind of stall out there, but GBC able to just hold off here and keep it kind of around the library here. UCM pushing forward, even with the nade onto Jonah. Beat coming out on the side of DD Gaming. Trey with a Death Blossom, gets Crits, gets Dire Pants, and UCM will get a advantage here, Cody, and able to push forward.
An incredible advantage. They were able to decide, hey, we need to do this, and just push through them with their ultimates that they had, and able to keep pushing and keep pushing.
Ooh, very much so. And we see Jonah getting a 6 shatter and is able to help take out 2 more people and continue the staggering effect on GBCC here, Cody.
This is one of the most incredible maps for staggering and just pushing and pushing and pushing, and taking as much as you can, because it's Kings Row.
Oh, very much so. We just do a Graviton Surge coming down the side of GBCC, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get much. Andy is taken out by the Red Polka. UCM. Jonah is not down yet. Trey taking out Jay. Rickless Morty taking out Crits. Dyer popping back here. waiting to see if there's anything that he can do and just speed his team back on there. DD Gaming having to come back and be the payload manager, while Jonah and the rest of crew comes up front to just continue to contest GBCC. Andy's saying hello. I don't really want to fall out there today without my team, and so they're waiting. They get everybody back together. It looks like they're going to be trying to make a second push here in an attempt, trying to see if they can get anything done. UCM continuing to hold the corner here of the path. UCM just swinging their hammer in as hard as they can. We should see a blizzard coming out on the side of Rickles Morty is able to get the tanks. A beat coming out on the side of GBCC, and that's going to save a good chunk of them for the time being. Great beat on the side of Dire Pants. UCM is not able to get any kind of kills off on their DD Gaming. Looking for an environmental against Dire. Rickles Morty taken out by Jay. Louis taking out DD Gaming. Lapis taking out Deity and taking out the Red Polka. Does look like UCM's not going to be able to make it out of this one. And that'll be a great just reverse on UCM there by GBCC there, Cody.
They had the ultimate economy to just turn it around. They were able to throw whatever they had at the wall and make it work. And that's one of the most important things in a stall situation, is just making it work.
Oh, ever so true. So GBC has a time to take a bit of a breath and know that they won at least one team fight here on Kings Row so far. UCM up in the mouth here of waiting to try and get through. Graviton Surge coming out on the side of UCM. They will be pumping up a lot of damage. Trey coming in there waiting to see if it's Death Blossom. Jonah with a hammer down, getting a bunch of GBCC, but Crit's getting nano boosted and healed up. Death Blossom coming out from Trey, taking out the back line for Crits, and UCM will continue to push it through. That was a gutsy just yeeting himself in there for that most part, but UCM will continue to contest it. Trey just taking out anybody who comes walking through, and this will be UCM's kind of cap here, hopefully, if they're able to clear out the point fairly quickly. We hear Crits charging in with a hurricane. UCM continuing to contest this as best they can. Graviton Surge going outside of GBCC, but it's not going to be much going down here. UCM continuing to contest the point and keep pushing it. Trey pumping out a bunch of lead and getting the stuff down, and UCM will cap the point with 3 minutes and 7 seconds left. Cody, UCM doing pretty good so far.
Pretty good so far, and let's just hope that they don't do just as well in the attack like we've seen happen too many times.
We'll have to see how well GBCC does on the attack run. What does GBCC need to do to kind of contest the aggression and the craziness that UCM is throwing at them?
I honestly think a Reaper and a McCree would be incredible here, because you can stun and then you can just crank out so much damage. But it's really hard to make those work when you're going to be contested by probably a Hanzo from Rickles Morty Sean here. Because, I mean, this is a good map for Hanzo and Reaper, but I guess it's May this time, so...
Well, we do know Rickles Morty has done fairly well on the May pick here, and so UCM does have a bit of an advantage here, especially with there being only a few choke points that GBCC can go through. So this is going to get rather interesting. We do see a Cyber Goth skin being equipped here on the side of GBCC. So this is going to be interesting. Must be a Zarya duel here. Must be a grudge match between Deity and Andy. So that could get it very interesting here. Will the grudges cause them to lose focus here, Cody?
I doubt it. I think the loss of focus isn't something that you have to really worry about when we're in a game. We're usually pretty well focused, especially Jonah and Deity are able to keep focus pretty well. So I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Well, that's good to know here, because UCM will need all the focus that they can get. Rickles Morty with a good wall out. They get the most of GBC just cut off here for the most part. UCM continuing. Jay takes out Trey, though. So UCM is down Trey, the heavy hitter of the DPS. So UCM is in a little bit of a pickle here. We do see them having to back off of the point as much as they can. Crit's charging in, trying to get stuff done. He does get a pin onto DD Gaming. Jonah and Deity having to pull back. Doesn't look like it's going to be much worth for him. And that is the fall for it. And you called it. They went Reaper and McCree here. And that's what helped them win that point, I think, Cody.
I think so too. You saw that their Reaper got 2 early picks onto our DPS, because he's just able to burst down any target really if he's close enough.
Oh, basically, with Rickles Morty with a wall off, trying to keep Crits and his buddy Andy out of the way. Nano boost on the side of Crits, trying to see if they can finish stuff off. Jonah out with a shatter, getting Andy down. Andy low on health, but survives. UCM continuing. Hammer down from Crits, gets 4 down. But he is low on health, does take out DD Gaming, though. He's on 40, he does take Trey with him. And UCM is a bit of a pickle here, down Trey and DD Gaming. So no speed, no damage output. Lapis taking out Rickles Morty, UCM. Tank line up in a Baptiste. Not looking so promising for UCM here, Cody.
Nope, I don't think we've been able to deal with the burst as well as we've been wanting to. and I think it comes down to just managing their counter aggression, their ability to just counter the way we play. Jonah likes to play an aggressive Ryan, and they're able to just counter it right now, and I think that's creating quite a few problems for our tank line.
Oh, very much so. So UCM is in a bit of a pickle here, but we do have Amp and Graviton Surge out. We will have Blizzard up here in a second. UCM is in a bit of a good place here. Lapis is low on health. Graviton Surge coming out. Amplification Maker down well. Beat out. Grav out. Everybody throwing out stuff. Matrix out as well. UCM doing their best to kind of stay alive. Crits is taken out by Jonah. UCM has the advantage here with the shield down on the side of GBCC. And so UCM will continue to kind of charge in there and do damage. Jonah just getting in there all gutsy. Like Trey taking out Dire Pants. Brooks Morty taking out Jay. Lapis and Andy down as well. UCM keeps marching forward. Crits comes out of spawn! That's a trickle right there. So UCM has a few more seconds to wait for the rest of GBC to come out there, Cody.
That was an incredible but strange stagger there from UCM because Crits just decided to walk out the door at the wrong moment.
I think he really just wants Jonah, and he really wants to pin Jonah against the wall, but I don't think that's going to happen. Trey taking out his counterpart in Jay, so UCM has a lot of ults here ready to pump and get in there. UCM waiting to see what they can do. Deity is nano boosted? No, never mind. Blizzard coming out. Trey doing a Death Blossom, takes out 2. UCM continuing to march forward. Trey is naded. And so UCM will continue to march forward, but everybody else is running back into spawn to just get regened and not die. UCM did a good hold there, Cody.
And they did have a very good hold, and I think it's because we realized that they were countering our aggression, and we're starting to play a little bit slower now, though it doesn't really help that this comp needs to play a little fast, but I think being able to slow down is important.
Oh, very much so. Reckless Morty with a nice wall off and keeps the tank line of GBC's down. And Crits and Andy are down on the side of GBCC. Lapis taken out by Deity. UCM continuing to march forward. Jay's trying to get out of there, but not happening. Jonas says no. And UCM again finishes a good, clean team fight. And Dire Pants trying to do a little bit of a C9. And then Reckless Morty getting a good trickle off onto Dire. And UCM in a good position again to contest this point here, Cody.
They are. This GBCC has trickled a little bit too much, and I think they need a really good regroup, which they're trying to do right now, but they're still lacking their Lucio.
Very much so. And then the wall comes out again. UCM continues to do damage. Jonah taking out a good majority of people. Deity as well, mowing people down. UCM, I just don't know what else to say other than we're just doing so well on these team fights here, Cody.
We are, and like I was saying earlier, it's because we're controlling aggression. We're waiting for that wall to come up before we do anything. We're using that wall as the engage instead of engaging, then walling.
Very much so. So UCM is in a good position once more to kind of win this team fight. We'll see. DD Gaming waiting to see where he needs to be. High Noon coming out on the side of GBCC. UCM just trying to keep the shield up. Oh! Death Blossom coming out on the side of Jay, and the Deadeye gets 2. UCM is going to be knocked out of it, and that'll be a team fight win for GBCC, and that wasn't too bad. You know, only used the High Noon and the Death Blossom on the side of GBCC in order to continue to move this card forward, Cody.
They did. That was very well done, and I think that, again, came down to they slowed down more than we did, and we were expecting a higher pace from them, so we kind of got caught in the act of thinking they were going to play different.
Yep, they shifted it into 6th gear here, trying to get aggressive with UCM and just lulling them into a sense of submission. Jonah taking a lot of damage there. Jonah throws out a hammer, but Blizzard coming out on the side, and Beak's coming out as well. UCMs are doing their best here. Jay taking out Jonah, but Reckless Morty taking out Lapis. Death Blossom coming out on the side of Trey. Trey taking out 2, and then a 3rd with Deity's help. And UCM, again, contests the point here at the very end. So this is good for UCM, Cody.
This is very good. They were able to now cut them off, essentially, from their own payload that they need to be pushing. So unless they get someone like their Lucio to sneak behind, I don't think they get any really good touches in 1 minute. It's going to be hard, but, you know, it's not impossible. But I think with the way we've been holding, it's going to be a little bit. It's going to be definitely hard.
We might be able to even out some stuff here with UCM actually maybe winning a map, but let's not talk too soon here. UCM continuing to kind of hold the corner up here. UCM does try to get a wall off, but isn't able to get crits down and out. We do see Dire Pants going and trying to go after DD Gaming. He might be able to get the kill off. UCM in a bit of a trouble here. Graviton Surge coming out of the side of GBCC. Andy dying in the process, though. Crits pinning Deity and taking him out. Hammer out by Crits! And he does take out 2 of UCM. And this is just amazing. GBC doing their best to kind of contest and return everything. And this will be GBC's just pushing forward and getting it. And that was insane, Cody. Like, GBC on the ropes here, is able to continue and push the payload and get more time on the clock.
They are there. That was great, and I think that was a bit more coordination. I think I think they've been a little uncoordinated, and I think now they're starting to talk. They're starting to act like a team, and I think that's what's really turning things around for them.
It must be because something clicked here, and UCM is in a bit of a pickle here. DD Gaming trying to boot people into the hole there, but not much happening in that sense. UCM continuing to just kind of try and contest this corner. DD Gaming waiting to see if he can get a boop in, but nope. We do have a Blizzard out on the side of Rickless Morty. Rickless Morty taking out Crit. Stunned is DD Gaming, but DD taking out Andy. UCM pushing forward once more. No ults taking out Jay, taken out by DD Gaming. Leo's taken out by DD Gaming, and once more, just the super aggression that we see here from UCM and continuing to just push GBCC off. But as we've seen, that's not enough for GBC to throw in the towel here, Cody.
It's not, and I think them playing as a team now, they're starting to get a bit of their fire back.
A little bit.
I'm starting to worry if that's enough fire to draw another Kings Row game.
I don't know. Hammer coming out for the side of Jonah, and it does. Crit's taking damage down, and UCM does get a bit of an advantage here. Trey falling out, and so UCM, Trey taking out Lapis, though, from a distance, whatever. So, yeah, Reaper shotgun, sniper guns. So, UCM continuing to hold this corner against GBCC. This is the last time feed. Deity with an ult going in there, and Beat coming out on the side of the amplification makes her coming out. Trey with another Death Blossom taking out two. UCM continuing to do as much contesting as they can. We do see people touching the point here on the side of GBCC. DD Gaming taking him out, but Dyer comes in and boops the red polka off. DD Gaming coming in and knocking out people. UCM continuing to do stuff. Crit trying to get in there with a hammer, but doesn't do much. And UCM will take this second map, Cody. And this is great. UCM didn't draw on this map. That's like the biggest thing to remember here.
They didn't draw Kings Row. It's incredible.
Marcos! They do happen, Cody. So I think GBC, though, is showing potential here. And if we go into map 3 here, this could be very issue-matic for UCM, because if this is even a taste of how good GBCC can be coordinated, I think we're in a bit of trouble coming up into the third map, Cody. What do you think?
I think we are as well. The last bit of fire, last bit of push they found in those last fights of Kings Row started to show that they can work as a team and they can do great things when they do. And I think that we weren't ready for that at the moment, and that's why we got rolled over in those few fights. So I'm worried if that's going to continue into the next map. If they continue building that team spirit and keeping that motivation going, it could cause quite a few problems for us.
Oh, it very much could. It almost smells like a reverse sweep if it's possible. Hopefully that's not the thing for UCM, but we would get more Overwatch in that case. But anyways, we'll find out if GBCC has what it takes to cause this to become a reverse sweep, or if UCM is going to close out the series on this match point for UCM, who's leading 2-0 in the series. We'll see you right after this.
Taylor Industries is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports, a family-owned and operated business.
Imagine opportunity. Got it? Good. Now pursue it. Choose the right college to cultivate it. Discover your passion, your talent. Now share it. Embrace it. Go global. Find support, network, build your team. Set a goal, work hard, achieve it. Be proud of yourself. Celebrate it. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
Are you ready to start the interview today?
Might as well go.
What's your favorite car jam to listen to?
Car jam?
Yeah.
I don't know, anything EDM.
What was the first game you ever played?
That would be some Atari game. I'll go with Pitfall.
Who would narrate your life?
I'd have Cuss to do it from the Overwatch League.
If magic was real, what spell would you try out first?
Turn into a dragon.
Would you rather have a third eye or a third arm?
Third arm would be way more useful.
What's the first thing you would buy with $1 million?
An epic gaming setup.
Where's your dream destination?
New Zealand.
Where do you drop the line between soup and cereal?
No comment.
Fair enough. Describe your perfect day.
Playing video games, learning more about it.
If you were a salad, what kind of dressing would you be?
Caesar.
Hello, Jonah. Welcome to the interview today. Are we ready to start?
Yeah, actually.
What's the first thing you would buy with $1 million?
A car. Nice one.
What would your last meal consist of?
Fried okra. Probably main thing.
Where's your dream destination?
I always want to go to Alaska, see the northern lights. That'd be cool.
What was cool as a kid, but not cool now?
Those silly, like the bands, the silly bands that are shapes of animals and stuff. Those aren't too cool anymore.
If magic was real, what spell would you try out first?
Invisibility, I guess.
If you could cyber enhance one body part, what would it be?
Gotta be the gaming hand. Perfect game.
Who would narrate your life?
Me.
What's your favorite car jam to listen to?
I don't really listen to music. I just podcasts are my main thing, I guess.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are on Jurato, so UCM, I think they've done fairly well on this map, Cody.
They definitely have. I think just the way we play, whether it's when we play dive, double bubble, or our brawl, signature brawl, I think the way we play on this map, controlling the corners and the vital cover points, has proven to be an incredibly effective way of controlling Dorado.
Very much so. So UCM and GBCC here will just have to kind of push this payload through the map as far as they can, and hopefully we don't get into another kind of draw situation here. We do see Lappies going on to the Torbjorn, it looks like, once more, and a May. So we might have a bit of a chance here since Bite Me will be going on to the Echo. And yes, Bite Me is in instead of Trey, so we will not see a Reaper or anything like that on the side of Trey. We will see Bite Me's Echo instead. So what's the play style here that UCM's going to have to go for?
Well, it looks like they're going a bit more dive-oriented with the Zenyatta and the dive tanks. So they're just going to have to target a single person, knock them down, find the next, knock them down, and just keep snowballing, fight after fight after fight.
Very much so. So UCM going in here. Jonah on his signature ball here. UCM is in good health and trying to see, but it looks like GBCC's on the low ground instead of staying up on the high ground. So UCM will have a little bit more of an advantage when it comes to contesting things here. We do see Deity on the Diva, so we have Ball Diva on that. And Rickless Morty getting a hack onto Dire. Dire taken out by Echo on Bite Me, so UCM does have an advantage here. Red Polka trying to keep everybody up and healthy. We do see some stuff coming out here. Crits doing lots of charge damage here, but is naded, so UCM does have a bit of an advantage. Lapis is hacked, and UCM going through some stuff. UCM doing all they can, and that's just going to kind of pop some stuff off. We do see some role switches here on the side of GBCC. Crits is on the Baptiste, and Lee's is on the Zarya, and Andy's on... It looks like GBC is testing some stuff out here, Cody.
It does. Maybe they thought that they'd better if they role switched. I can understand every now and then I'll switch with Thomas when we're doing main tank stuff. But
yeah. It's kind of weird to see that a tank, though, switching off to a support role, but it's rather DD Gaming saying, I can be a DPS, and taking out Andy, and then Dire Pants and Jay taking out on the side of Jonah. UCM continuing to do damage and pumping it out onto the side of GBCCC. We do see Crits taken down, though. UCM gets the first point cap, and Jonah just continuing to roll through the background here and just do chaos things, Cody.
That's one of the things Ball is best at, is creating chaos and disrupting the entire line. Whether it's back or front, wherever he is, everything's messed up when he's there.
Oh, very much so. So UCM in a good position here. We do have Rickless Morty ready with his EMP, trying to find a good position to see where he can pop it off and do lots of work here. But UCM's got to wait for the right moment of when to do that. Bite Me and Rickless Morty up on the rooftops. Rickless Morty looking to see if he has an opportunity. It does look like he sees 4 juicy targets. He's going to be dropping down. And will he EMP? He will! And he gets 5! UCM, though, continuing to do as much damage as possible. Not much is going to happen on the side of GBCC. UCM does get 2 down on that EMP. So UCM is at an advantage here. Jonah going into the background and doing some damage. Bite Me continuing to pump out some stuff. Jay throwing out the Blizzard, but doesn't get anybody with it. The Red Polka finishing him off with a nade. And UCM will continue to push this payload forward, Cody.
yeah, we've been doing incredibly well. One thing I want to highlight, because never talk about it when the fight's going on, but our support line is doing incredibly well, keeping sight lines and controlling the fight. Our Zenyatta Dylan is doing incredible with discords, and Jonathan's doing an incredible job maintaining the team's health, and I think they're both doing wonderful.
Oh, very much so, and Jonathan able to hit some good nades here and there to keep people contested. We do see here and Hammer coming out on the side of Andy. And then UCM, though, but Jonah getting a ball kills with his mines, and then he gets a punch kill as well. UCM continuing to just bump through everybody, and this is just kind of good. And, okay, Jonah just taking people off the edge there, but by me taking a bit of the credit there. So UCM, again, caps the next point, and we'll be pushing forward to see what all they can do. Jonah coming through, doing as much damage as he can, but it looks like he's going to be frozen on the side of Jay. UCM in a little bit of a struggle. Jay hopping into Ice Block, continuing to contest it. Rickless Morty hacking off as much as he can, but Jay taken out by DD Gaming. UCM pushing forward hardcore. Oh, stunned out is Jonah. UCM continuing to just kind of push forward and contest the point. We do see a Sigma popping up on the side of Andy. UCM doing lots of damage here, and this is just not looking so good on the side of GBCC. UCM beat is out, and Lapis taking out Bite Me, so Bite Me no more. Sticky Bombs coming out on the side of that. We do see a wall coming out on the side of Jay. Jonah staying sneaky, but does get rocked and won't be able to swing up and throw out his mines like he was wanting to. Graviton Surge coming out on the side of GBCC. Mines out on the side of Jonah. Slams everybody up, gets Dire Pants, and will continue to just kind of roll through as best as he can, trying not to get frozen. He is low on health, does get his shields up, and rolls on out of there to just kind of stay safe. And Jonah will take out the turn in the back line for GBCC. UCM, though, continues to do lots of damage and push forward here. Rickless Morty, though, coming up with a UCM probably not. No, he just needs to SMG people to death. Going into cloak mode, UCM continuing to contest everything. And UCM in the final seconds here. GBCC needs to get out there and contest it. We do see an EMP coming out. Bomb out on the side of Deity. Who will it take out? Takes out the mech. No, never mind. Andy taking out DD Gaming, so UCM down a healer, but Lyle's taken out as well. UCM continuing to try and do damage, but not. It's doing lots of work, actually. So UCM continues to contest, and that will be all 3 points with 3 minutes and 3 seconds left. If GBC wants to keep this alive, Cody, they got to push it all 3. But how are they going to do that?
Man, I don't know. We put a really harsh dive and just snowballed, like I was saying earlier. They just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed and staggered them out and made them have to reset all over and over again. So honestly, for here, they either have to really hard commit to a really good brawl or a hard commit to a better dive, dive us out even more than we dive them. And either one of those could work incredibly well, but it's really rough to go against Jonah when he's on his mainstay ball.
Oh, very much so. Jonah just loves being like the wrecking ball that he is and doing so much damage. We do see kind of a double bubble comp possibly coming out of the side of GBCC. Will that be a thing that'll be helpful against UCM?
I can understand that it might help in certain situations, because all of the ultimates on a double bubble team line are high impact and they don't build super slow. So you're able to get a decent amount of ults and just run over and win fights with ults. And I think if that's what they're trying to do, it could definitely work. I just don't know if they're going to be able to get the ultimates as fast as they'd like, especially because we're running a dive into them. They're not going to be able to get as much value as quickly as we are, I don't think.
Oh, very much so. So UCM's going to be in very much of a good kind of position here, looks like, with the jump. But Lapis hopping onto the Junkrat. We do see Andy hopping in, trying to see if he can do any kind of hardcore damage and just get people displaced on the high ground, but not really much going to happen there. Andy hopping off onto the back line, trying to see if he can get into our back line. UCM in a bit of a pickle here, but nope, never mind. Jonah and Rickless Morty doing some work here, getting 2 down on the side of GBCC. Lapis is down. UCM continuing to try and contest what all they can do. Discord out on the side of DD Gaming. DD Gaming trying to see if he can stop GBCC from doing stuff. And he helped! Oh, this guy's gutsy. DD Gaming trying to 1v1 on May. Does get a Discord out, and Rickless Morty finishing it off for DD Gaming. UCM in a good position. I do see a hog switch off here for Andy, so we're going to have a bubble hog here. This is going to be fun. UCM continuing to try and do work. Leah is just going to stay in point. Fair enough. We do see a hog hook going out there, trying to get somebody displaced, trying to get that 1-pick potential, but Deity and Jonah staying up on the high ground, continuing to contest. Lapis coming up, trying to see if he can displace anybody, but pays with his life there, and Deity taking out Lapis. UCM, but he does step into the Junkrat trap, so, but it doesn't really do much else, but Rickless Morty in the background of GBCC, and so UCM is in a good place. Nano boost onto the monkey here, so Jonah looking to get people down. Crits is hacked and taken down. UCM continuing to push forward and do lots of damage here. UCM popping off Rickless Morty, just stealing kills with that submachine gun, it looks like, Cody.
He is, and I think it comes down to us being able to just say, hey, we're going to dive, and then everyone just understanding what they need to do and being able to coordinate with each other. And I think that's something GBCC isn't able to display to quite the capacity that we are.
It does appear to be that way. We do see an EMP ready on the side of Rickless Morty. Looks like he's going to see if he can get a juicy 5 or 6 man one. Trying to get onto that replay clip. Does get a 4 man one instead, and then hacks somebody off onto the side. Deity with a bomb, taking out Lapis and crits. You see him continuing to pump in a lot of damage, and will continue to contest this and take out the rest of GBCC's team there. And UCM in a good place here. We do see a D-mech onto Deity, though, but it's going to take him a little bit to get that mech back, but maybe it'll be enough for GBCC to get an advantage here, Cody.
It's possible, but it's going to be difficult to find value, especially with the Bastion here. You're able to burst things down, but you're also a very, very stationary target.
Very much so, and especially if we get a Discord on you or a hack like that, you're in a bit of a pickle there. UCM taking care of Lapis. Dyer going in and rezzing crits, my bad. But Jay in the background taking out the support line of UCM. And so this might be the break that GBCC needed. UCM in a little bit of an issue here. And so this is just going to be the end of it. And the Bastion is, just doing what he can. But, Leo's here, not happy that Rickless Morty is hacking him out of everything.
It's a sad time when you get hacked because it's essentially just not being able to play the video game anymore.
Very much so. I hate it whenever it happens in Total Mayhem where it's on basically a 2-second cooldown, so I can imagine it just being a pain in the rear here in the competitive world. And so UCM continuing to kind of hold underneath the arches here, so GBCC did get enough of an opening to push it that far. We do see, a Diva Reinhardt coming out here. Nano out onto Jonah here as he hops into the background, does take out crits. Deity taking out Lapis, and then Dyer is taken down as well by Jonah, so UCM continuing to contest everything that they can. And so that's going to be a good kind of nano onto Jonah, able to get a good chunk of his monkey up and ready. And UCM once more contests the point. 16 seconds left for GBCC, and a trickle onto Andy. Not looking good.
Not looking good at all. With such a little time left, they don't have time to just sit around and choke like a Bastion tends to do.
No.
They got to move. They got to go in.
They got to do a thing. And so they'll be hopping in there, but it doesn't look like anybody touches the point in time. And so UCM will take the series here, folks. And that's just, that was great. That was, there were some good moments there on both sides. But, I think UCM did show better team coordination, it looked like, Cody.
Definitely. I think at the end of the day, this really does come down to being able to coordinate and work together as a team better than they were. And I think that's what really won us the game this time around, because, yes, while we all did incredibly well, I think that's mostly because we were able to talk it out and be like, okay, this is what we want to do in the next fight, and then we make it happen.
Oh, very much so, Cody. And we'll be right back with the Taylor Industries post-game show, and we'll be talking to you about everything else that happened and crowning our player of the match from Culver's. So stick around to find out who that is.
Culver's is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports. Welcome to Delicious.
Can you look me down?
everybody, and welcome to the Taylor Industries post-game show. Cody, that was one heck of a win there by UCM, being able to win this series 3-0 against our host, GBCC. And so, I think UCM did a fairly good job on contesting some things, and then GBCC seemed to pull some things together here and there to stop UCM in their tracks in a couple team fights.
Yeah, they definitely were able to seem to mesh better as a team in certain fights than others, and they seem to definitely pick themselves off the ground after that Busan match. And I think the reason that UCM was able to win it out in the end was a difference in coordination, difference in the way we worked together as a team and meshed. We meshed really well, whereas they seem to be a little split in their decisions, a little split in the way they played as well. And that comes down to being able to coordinate and being able to make decisions quickly.
Oh, very much so, Cody. And so, speaking of making decisions and making plays here, your Culver's player of the game will be Dylan here, DD Gaming TY. He will be our player of the match. Cody, can you kind of highlight as to why Dylan is our player of the match?
For this time around, I think, like I was saying earlier, this game was very much decided by coordination. And Dylan is our fight planner most of the time. He decides what should happen and when it should happen and what order everything needs to occur. And I think with this being such a coordination heavy match, him taking player of the match as well as his performance, being able to heal everyone and keep them up and make sure that everybody was able to perform at their best is what makes him our player of the match this time around.
Yes, and Dylan did definitely deserve that one because there was a lot of coordination. His Zenyatta was on point on Dorado. His Yulusuo was doing all the stuff from DPS damage to speed boosting to keeping everybody up with his meager heals that he does have as a Lucio. But I do agree that he deserves all of that. And also another thing that deserves our attention will be GBCC, because they are the ones who took the time and the effort to create this tournament/cup that they hosted for us, due to the fact that the league that we're currently in does not host it during the spring times. So as the director of UCM Esports, I deeply thank you, GBCC, for putting this on. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving my players a chance to compete in a competitive setting against other schools. So we might have beaten you today, but next time we might not be so lucky. But I hope we're lucky enough to be a part of another cup that you may or may not put on. But thank you again for doing it this semester. And so before we leave, ladies and gentlemen, what I will say is that we do have our Culver's fundraiser coming up here on March 24th from 5 o'clock to 8 p.m. here at the Warrensburg Culver's. And so if you want to have some good food, want to hang out with the players, play some Super Smash Brothers, or play some other games that we have there, come down and join us. We would love to see you there. And also, we'll have another little bit of a giveaway there that's exclusively if you come to Culver's and just come and visit with us. So there will be another gift basket there with a few nice prizes, if I do say so myself. So, but with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be the end of our stream tonight. I have been your host, Cordell Ballard. Here with me has been Cody Polly, and we thank you again for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
I'm going out.